Aston Martin range. So we're in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. This is the new Roadster version. In my opinion, this is the sweet spot of the Aston Martin range, because this being an open top V8 engined sports car is just, it's the pinnacle, isn't it? Let's be honest. So British made, obviously. So we've got all the artisan materials in here, which are lovely stretched leather. It feels like you're inside a cow. It's amazing. You've got this weird shaped steering wheel that Aston Martin love making. It sort of feels a little bit sort of squarey, sort of oblong-y sort of shape, but I really like it. It feels lovely in the hand, and the leather, again, stretched over the top of it, seems to be extremely premium quality, like a beautiful handbag or something, I imagine. The rest of the interior, we'll get this out the way. I think the buttons in here, all pretty fussy. You've got obviously the engine start button in the middle. This car sounds amazing on startup. The V8 engine really bursts into life. The rest of the buttons all are a little bit ham-fisted. The Mercedes-Benz old stuff is not really my favourite thing, and the screen on here is a little bit Amstrad of 20 years ago. The exterior looks of this car, and what do we all think? I think it looks mean, muscular. It looks purposeful. I love the looks of it. I do think that the front lights could do with being a little bit bigger, and the front air intake is pretty big. It looks a little bit like a sort of sucker fish that you see on the side of a tank sort of thing. But other than that, the rear looks amazing. You've got 4 exhausts. The sound of this car, it sounds absolutely wonderful. This AMG derived V8 that sounds absolutely amazing. It still sounds a little bit, they've changed it from sort of, obviously this comes out of C63s, E63s, AMG GTs. It's the 4-litre unit that they use in all of their AMG products, really. And it sounds amazing in all of their AMG products. And Aston have changed the tone of it a little bit. Not a lot, it still sounds quite AMG, but it does sound amazing. That's like saying someone sounds a little bit like Adele when they sing. It still sounds amazing. I am really struggling to find something dynamically that I don't like about this little car. It's quite subtle, but it still feels like a sports car. So it's firm enough to make you feel like a Sunday morning special drive. It has 3 different modes on the suspension, so you can have normal mode, which I'm in now, which I like. I leave it in that, it's sort of sport mode. You then got Sport Plus, which gets harder, and then you've got track mode that is again harder, and it is, at that point, those are too hard, in my opinion, for the UK roads, but I'm sure on track it's amazing. Now, I don't think anyone's really ever going to use one of these on track, are they? I don't really know, but I don't think they probably are. It's not really for that. It's for blasting down a B road on a Sunday morning, or going on a lovely grand tour and with your missus down to the south of France. It's absolutely perfect thing. The 503 horsepower, or 510 PS, and 505 pounds-foot of torque make this car an extremely fast proposition. It is very quick. We're talking 0 to 60 in 3.7, 0 to 62 in 3.8 seconds, which is 0.2 of a second slower than the coupe, but it's just made so much better by the fact that it's a roadster. It just is. Everything about this is so perfect for being a roadster. It's so quick, and its in-gear performance is unbelievable. This 8-speed ZF gearbox that's twin to it, again, an AMG-derived 8-speed ZF, is magnificent in the Mercs and is just as good in this car. It has to be said. It's brilliant, and it really suits the characteristics of this car. I love the paddles. The paddles are massive. They're aluminium, so they feel really, really premium. Even when you're grabbing a load of lock, you can find where the paddle is. They don't move with the steering wheel. They're fixed so you know exactly where they are and exactly where you left them. I really enjoy holding this car in manual and actually going up and down the gearbox. The brakes are very, very strong. They are 400mm up front. They're very, very good. They're steels on this car, which I did think they were going to be on ceramics. I don't know why I thought that, but for, you know, this car is £126,000. This one, as tested, is £155,000, but they start at 126. And the thing is, at that money, it's in a very, very difficult price bracket, isn't it? Because you've got things like GT3 Porsches and that sort of stuff, and there's always the niggle in the back of my head that's telling me that I'd sooner have a GT3. But for what this is for, and being a softer sports car, softer, hardcore muscle car sports car, it's a very, very good car. I'm very impressed. The fit and finish in here is actually way better than I was expecting. And also, I think with the size of the car and the size of the chassis, this is a 1600 kilo car. The 503 horsepower feels like exactly the right amount of power. It feels really beautifully judged, because yes, you can upset it and, you know, promote an unbelievably large drift in it, but if you're relatively cautious on the power, it is, you know, it has loads of grip. It's almost a 50-50 weight distribution. You've got the gearbox at the back of the engine, which is almost, it feels like it's just right under here. When you look under the bonnet, it's sort of almost front mid-engined, if you like. The different mode options that you have with the powertrain are Sport, Sport Plus, and then Track mode. Sport mode makes it a little bit sort of quieter, makes the gearbox a little bit more chilled out, makes everything a little bit more chilled out, and you can potter around, and that's where you get the best economy from it, I suppose. When you then press the X button on here, you get Sport Plus, everything tightens up, the throttle pedal becomes a little sharper, as usual, and then you can start to grab the gearbox. And the gears, they just, it's just perfect. It really is perfect. Here we go. I do find the traction control when it's on is quite intrusive, so it really kills the revs. It is addictive, the noise of this car, it really is. And the noise of the unburnt fuel going in. I hope that's going across. It's amazing. It sounds brilliant. And it's extremely fast, like extremely fast. And you can drive this and enjoy it driving not very, very fast, or you can really get up it and really, really enjoy that sonorous, amazing V8 that they've managed to pinch off AMG. I've spent a lot of time in things like a DBS, and a DBS, although being absolutely magnificent, don't get me wrong, the fact that it has so much power and so little grip sort of detracts from it a bit, really, because you find yourself just pulling paddles the whole time and not being able to use all of the revs in the car and not being able to enjoy that lovely turbocharged V12 in that car. Whereas this one, the turbocharged V8 that's in this one at 503 horsepower, which is loads less than the DBS, it just makes a lot of sense to me. And I think this is the absolute sweet spot, as I say, of the Aston Martin range. And it just so happens to be their entry model. It's brilliant. It really is very, very good. And if you're looking at the sort of 130 odd £1,000 car market, as we all are, obviously, then this is a really, really viable option. It's great. It really is very, very good.